about the other core service you mentioned, red teaming. What's that even mean? Tell me more about that one.
Red teaming is entirely different in terms of scope, goals, methodology, as compared to scanning and assessments or even pen testing. Those tests are technical evaluations, so looking for technical ways to breach your systems and data. Red teaming has overlap with penetration testing for sure, but its primary purpose is to test humans and detection capabilities within your organization. Activities range from stealthy recon and penetration of your defenses to working directly with your blue team or your SOC, someone monitoring security alerts 24/7 and testing individual techniques to ensure detections are firing as needed. Our red teaming services fall into two categories: adversary simulation and technique simulation. With adversary simulation, it's objective driven, stealthy, and simulates an adversary coming at you just like an attacker would. These engagements can often last for months. A couple of full-time testers trying to circumvent and exploit your technical controls, human behavior, process and detection gaps, and so on. It may even involve physical attacks and social engineering. The objective, which is very tailored to each engagement and client, can include compromising high-value workstations and servers, to installing a persistent backdoor, or demonstrating the ability to gain access and to exfil your most valuable data while maintaining confidentiality and integrity, of course. Getting domain admin, gaining write access to a source code repository, and so on. An overarching goal is usually to avoid getting caught. So it's not uncommon for us to have a couple of waves of attacks. Basically, we come in hot and fast to collect a lot of intel. For example, file and process information on your endpoints. And then come back later from another source, more stealthy, and utilize the knowledge gained from that previous campaign to avoid detection this time, since we know what your security stack looks like from that first wave. Once the objective or set of objectives is achieved, and assuming we're not caught in the act, we'll do what we call getting noisy. Basically, we'll do something intentionally to get caught. So your blue team or your SOC, who's not aware of the red teaming, sees us and they stand up and start incident response. This gives your blue team the opportunity to practice incident response, including discovery, containment, eradication, and recovery. So adversary simulation is largely centered around current attacker techniques and campaigns, as seen in the MITRE ATT&CK framework, for example, as well as our testing guides and our internal proprietary methodologies. The other category of our red teaming is technique simulation, sometimes referred to as purple teaming. We work closely with your blue team staff while launching individual attacks. We monitor the activities to ensure they are mitigated or detected, and if not, we help your blue team build the needed capability to do so. We jump on screen shares and syncs often during this testing, and this cycle repeats itself numerous times to cover as many techniques as the time and budget allows. This could be as little as, let's say, 20 or 30 hours over the course of a week, but it could also last for weeks. But it usually doesn't last for months like adversary simulation. Technique simulation is also largely centered around the MITRE ATT&CK framework, in addition to our internal methodologies. With that said, if you don't have a blue team or a SOC, then most of our red teaming services would not be beneficial for you. The exceptions might be, let's say, some limited technique simulation if you have a third-party SOC. But honestly, our pen testing services likely cover this scenario. Another scenario, we're focused solely on, let's say, social engineering or perhaps physical security audit. In other words, a subset or a more targeted testing. Like with most of our services, the deliverable for this is our custom findings and recommendations report with actionable solutions to help you protect your organization and users. A sample of that report is available on our website. As you might suspect, red teaming has the most varied cost of any service. It could run anywhere from a few $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars. It depends on the type of engagement and scope. Of the two types of red teaming, technique simulation typically has the best ROI. The challenge with red teaming, and honestly with all testing to a certain degree, is that you must be willing to truly partner with your tester. If not, you're not going to get much value out of it. The most effective and valuable red team knows everything your blue team knows, 100% transparency. So to summarize, red teaming tests your ability to prevent, detect, and respond. What we would recommend is a full scope annual network pen test, followed by quarterly red teaming engagements that focus on areas of greatest risk.